make a long story short, would I buy it? No. That's what it boils down to, right? I'm headed to go test drive one of the new Kove 450 rallies, or Kove 450. I don't know how you actually pronounce it, but yeah, I'm headed to go test ride one. My good friends over at Off-Road Cycle, I will put a link on the video for sure, but anything you need in the Houten, Johannesburg, Pretoria area for off-roading, Conrad and team at Off-Road Cycles are the ones. They're the ones that have supported me for the last 4 years racing, and by far the best group around. I've tried everyone, all the different shops, and Conrad's is by far, if you're into off-road or dual sport adventure riding, he is the one to go see. And I'll compare it. This is my 500. I took the tower off it just recently, put it back to a straight plastic bike, just to do some other type of riding with it right now, and it's actually pretty pretty fun. It's a wheelie monster now. Do it again. But I'm going to compare the 450 Kove 450 Rally with this bike, and then also against my 690 with the Evo 2 kit. I think that's the closest comparison, honestly. It's not, it's not apples and apples and oranges, because if you want to do a true comparison, then you compare it to the KTM 450 Rally. But as far as weight, size, and fuel capacity, I think the 690 with the Evo 2 kit that I have is the closest. I think I am a good candidate to make a comparison of the Kove against all the ones that people are talking about on the forums and online, which is a KTM 450 or 500 with a big fuel tank like this one. It has the 15-liter tank on it, and I normally have my tower, so it would be almost a direct comparison, I guess, as far as the setup goes. And then a 690 with long-range tanks on it, so I have that. And I race, I've ridden quite a few of the 450s rally setups, so I think I'm fairly well versed in the different bikes, and to see how the Kove stacks up. So I can't recommend enough Conrad and team at Off-Road Cycles. Not a sponsor or anything like that, but they are the best, and it's right here, and you can see they are a Kove dealer, so the only one in South Africa. And look at that, we got some new stickers on it right there. So that's it, and then this one here. Mora.
Come on, okay, good. Set. Yeah, set. And then go down to ABS, set again, and then close off. Yep. And back of the, yeah.
So I just leave it like that?
Just like that, yeah.
And do I need to do anything to tell it which tanks or anything?
No, it's all
flows together?
Yeah.
Gravity or something?
Put some fuel in the back and this one, but it'll balance out now. But there's only the fuel gauges in this one. So, but it's alright now. I mean, there's 10 liters in it now. So, yeah, fuel at the back.
Alright, so first 30 seconds on the Kove. It's a cable clutch, not hydraulic, and this one is the friction zone is right at the end, so that feels a little different. It definitely feels light right off the bat, just moving it around. Feels light. Brakes and stuff. I've got like 30 minutes of commuting traffic to cut through before I'm out on the... Just in that, definitely lacks power compared to 500 right off the bat. I mean, as it should, I guess, but yeah, compared to everything. The motor is a little noisy. Kind of clanky. Okay, so didn't even notice it has a tach, so it does have a tach. Alright, so let's see. Having a little tough time getting my under the shifter. I mean, it rides fine. Seat height, it's it's high, but it's not terrible. Let's see. This is the traffic I was talking about. Cut through. Yeah, if you thought a KTM motor was noisy, this one by far is, to me, noisier than the KTM. It does feel light and nimble. I think according to the fuel gauge, it's only got a half a tank. So it's, I guess that means it's half full. So I am gonna fill it all the way to feel the weight. I think it's 28 liters, like 8 gallons. And people say it's too much capacity, you'll never use it, whatever, it's just a waste. Well, my opinion, and everybody can flame me on all the keyboard warriors, this is nice because the bike is built around the fuel tanks, or designed, I guess. It's designed for the fuel tanks from the ground up, so they fit flush. They fit it perfectly. And if you don't want to fill it up all the way, don't fill it up all the way. But when you're in a rally and you have to hit a fuel autonomy range before the next checkpoint, before the next fuel stop, having the fuel is a huge boost. You have to have it. Especially in the sand, in the dunes. Like I can go from a 300 kilometer range, 350k range on the 450 racing, and then I can hit the dunes, and that can easily drop down into the 250 range, depending on how you're doing in the dunes, because you're just sitting there wide open most of the time. This definitely does not have the low end grunt of a 450 or 500. That's my first impression. It is lacking on power. Obviously it's lacking on power compared to the 690. I mean, that's just not a fair comparison. But compared to 450, 500, it is. If you wind it up, I mean, you do have top end power. That's where you're going to live, but you're not going to have the torque up to 500 for sure, even the 450. So here, and this bike only has 412 kilometers on it. It started with 410. I just put 2 kilometers on it. So here I am, just doing 55 kilometers an hour. I'm in 4th gear, and if I open up wide open throttle, it really falls on its face. Alright, so let's try this again. 4th gear, 60k an hour. I'm at 5,000 RPM. I full throttle it, and I'm spluttering, going. So that is one big difference, just the fueling or the power. Yeah, so far I'd say it's power-wise, it's in the 350 range. 350 is similar. You got to wind it up, but even the 350 has more torque on the low end, at least from the feel, and it doesn't sputter and fall on its face. Yeah, we'll do rental bikes. Definitely up for that Morocco Extreme.
I like the fact that it's off the shelf ready for.
Okay. 19 liters. No. So now we'll feel the weight of it. Much mud. Definitely washing this thing before I return it. Yeah, I mean the suspension feels okay. Alright, so I'm trying to think of how I feel about this thing in my head. I guess make a long story short, would I buy it? No. That's what it boils down to, right? Would I buy it? No. I'm glad I've ridden one for myself, so I don't have to rely on all the internet reviews and everybody talking about how great or how bad it is. I know for myself. So if I had the money and I was in the market to buy another bike, would I buy this over the staple of a KTM 500 or 690? No. In my opinion, you guys can sit on the keyboard and tell me how wrong I am, but the power delivery, you have to live, this thing has to live up in the high RPMs all the time. It does not have low end torque. I mean, it has it, but not comparable to KTM 500 or 450. Obviously not the 690, which power-wise is really power-wise comparing the 690 to this is not really fair. But this is nice. I mean, it's nice as a new bike. I do like the bearing and the tower. It's a very clean, simple design, which is nice. And it's plastic. It's not some fancy carbon fiber, which is great on weight savings, but the carbon fiber is terrible if you break it, because you can't fix it really. So then you've got aluminum or you have plastic. This is plastic. And the plastic feels like, at least the fairing pieces down here, they feel pretty sturdy plastic. It's not brittle, it's flexible. I think it's going to last. I think that's what other people have said. Let's see where this guy's going. Engine-wise, to me, this is equivalent to a 350. It rides like a 350 to me. I've ridden a few 350 EXCs, swapping bikes with people just to feel them and try them out, and that's where this is. You have to wind it out, and the power, range, and the torque. In fact, I'm going to look it up. It would be interesting to see what the actual on-paper torque and horsepower ratings are for this compared to a KTM 350. So then this is even there. Shifting in the second gear there, I was sputtering. And I wasn't really short shifting. I don't see any, this isn't giving me anything besides extra fuel capacity. It doesn't give me anything over the KTM platform. Price-wise, this is a good deal. But higher speeds. I don't know that I would like this on single track slow stuff, just because of the power range. It's not as responsive as my 500. It does feel very similar to my 690. And the weight is definitely the same. So then if I'm not racing, if I'm racing and I have to meet the 450 class requirement, then this would be the bike for the money. But if I'm not racing, if I'm just adventure riding, or yeah, just adventure riding and doing amateur races, rallies, if you can race at the 690 level, then my 690, oh, this is terrible, this is dust off this dump truck. The 690 with the Evo 2 kit, so you have 3 tanks on the 690, you have 8 liters less fuel, 6 liters, 8 liters, I can't remember which, but so it's definitely less fuel, but it's still enough to go 300k. Then you have, then you have 20 horsepower more than this, and a lot more torque, and usable torque. The power range is lower. So, if you're not trying to meet a 450 class requirement, then I would take the 690 with the Evo 2 kit over the Kove, because you'd have, like, what is that, 40% more power, 50% more power, and a lot more usable power. And then I know people are going to say, well, you know, having too much power could be a bad thing. It's not always better to have more power. Sure. If you take a pro, he can make this bike beat, you know, I can be on a 690 and the pro can be on this 450 and he can smoke me. No doubt about it. But for the average rider, I don't know many people that on the highway trying to pass, or in the sand off-road, or in the dunes. I don't know many people that are saying to themselves, oh, I wish I didn't have all this extra horsepower. Okay, so, I don't know, I did about 80k or something with this on and off-road. Nothing too extreme, just farm roads and some side roads, little dirt tracks like adventure roads, I guess. And after that's enough for me. I don't need to ride it anymore. It's a little too twitchy for me. The power delivery is just not what I'm used to, and it's just not much fun, honestly. So I see no reason to keep riding. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to clean it up, take it back. If I had this bike in the garage, and if I had it with my 500 there, and I had my 690, and we were going out for, you know, heading out for a ride. So I had all 3 bikes to choose from: the Kove 450 Rally, KTM 500 with the Acerbis 15-liter tank on it, or the 690 with the tank on it. If I'm gonna go, I would pick the 500 3 times out of 4, I would say. Like the Swiss Army knife, it can do just everything. It does it pretty Alright, so let's see comparisons. Personal choices. If I'm gonna go out and ride single track and sand, 500, 690, or this 450, it's gonna be the 500 because of the power to weight. Just can't get over that. Sure, I only have 15 liters of fuel on the 500. You can add a rear fender tank for another 5 liters for races if you have to, but so that's what I would take if I'm going to go mountain carving. And it's going to be paved roads, and maybe a mix 50-50 of paved roads and gravel and dirt roads, farm roads. 500, 690, 450 Kove. I would take my 690. More power. Better suspension. This one has a race ECU in it. It has no emissions. It has no catalytic converter. It's got the straight pipe straight through to the muffler. I don't think it's an Akrapovic. I didn't look actually. So this is. The most powerful you get. I think the US ones and the street models, they're detuned a little bit with the non-race ECU. My thoughts after spending, 3 or 4 hours on it. I mean, certainly this is not a long-term review or anything. This was just my quick initial impressions. And yeah, it would take some getting used to, power-wise and fuel delivery. The motor needs to be revved, which is just different than what I'm used to with the KTM 450 or 500. This just has less low-end torque. I think the KTMs are known for having almost instant torque down low, and so it's if that's what you ride every day, then this is a big change. So let's see who's going. Look, the bike isn't slow. It's just a different riding style. You just have to. With my 500, I can be lazy. Let me just put it that way. I can be lazy because I know almost any gear I'm in, off idle, I can punch it and it'll get up and go. This one, you need to drop it. You need to drop gears, get in the sweet spot. So let's run through what I like about it. Before I get taken out. I like this fairing. This is nice, and Off-Road Cycles has already come up with a nice clean way to mount a GPS onto the tower system here, so that's nice. Yeah, I don't know about the headlights. I don't know how bright they are. I'd have to ride it at night, but okay. Wow, I thought I was out of the traffic. Okay, so pros. What's good about the Kove? Right off the bat, the price. Everything you get for the money. You get a lot of bang for the buck. A lot of things that you're gonna be doing as add-ons on a KTM, you get factory here. So you get rubber isolated dampened handlebars. That's factory. You get 3 fuel tanks for a total of 28 liters from the factory. Now that's, no other bike can touch that. You get a Dakar raced and proven bike. This motor and this configuration. 3 of them entered Dakar in 2023 and 3 finished. So reliability wise, that's great. I think you get more oil capacity than a KTM EXC bike. So oil changes not as frequent. Makes maintenance better. You get a quick release seat like the 690, which is, in my book, I think that's a good thing. You do get a really nice air filter, so it's designed for racing. Much more surface area to catch dirt and debris than compared to a KTM EXC. Now, KTM 450 Rally, similar air filter as this, so this is in line with that. The suspension is so-so. It's not bad. I'm not a suspension expert. I'm not a pro-level rider, so I can't really comment. I'm the rider that I take my bike to a trusted suspension guy. He sets it up for me. He does revalves in the forks, and then he adjusts the shock, and then he sets it, and then I never touch it. I don't play with the clickers. I just ride. So 500, the suspension feels much better. This is twitchier. It's just not as stable feeling as my 500 or 690. So what don't I like about the Kove? I do not like the power delivery down low, which according to the TAC is basically 6,000 RPMs. If you're at 6,000 or less and you get on it, if you slowly twist the throttle, it will gradually increase and be fine. If you smack the throttle wide open, it bogs down, and it really feels like a fuel that's running too lean, and it just bogs down. So I don't like that. I don't like the skid plate on this because it covers the side, and I find myself on the brake side. The tips of my boot are hitting the skid plate, so just have to get used to where my foot sits on the pegs. I don't like the fact that you don't have a oil window, so you have no way of knowing how much oil you have in here. If it's low, if it's high. That seems like a really weird failure to have on a race bike. I don't like having to constantly turn off the ABS. And I suppose the race-only bike would be different, but since this is a street-plated rally version, it has ABS and you have to turn it off every time. I don't like the engine cutoff because it's an actual push-in, push-out switch. So you hit it, or you push it in to stop the engine, and then go to start the engine again, you have to click it back out. So it's just preference, personal thing. I don't care for that. I do like that it has hazards. That's nice. The switch gear on it feels, legit. It doesn't feel Chinese crap quality or anything. I guess everything on the bike feels good quality. I don't feel like I'm riding around on a budget motorcycle that's some like copy clone that's super cheap, just gonna fall apart. So there's no rattles. This tower is solid. I'm not noticing anything that's like rattling apart or flexing a ton or anything like that. I wish that the 3 fuel tanks on this bike had the clear translucent strip in them like a KTM 450 Rally tank, where you can see how much fuel is sitting in the tank. I wish they had done that with this, because it does have a fuel indicator, but I'm told it's only on the left front tank. So I don't know, I just think it would make more sense to be able to quickly look and see how much fuel you'll have in it. But good bike for me? No, it's not for me. I'm going to stick with my tried and true. But really a thumbs up to Conrad and his team for importing it and for giving me the chance to give it a try.